Well, at the beginning I want to say I won't be talking about things I have already reviewed because it's a little obvious that I like them and there is no reason to repeat myself once again. Secondly, I won't be talking only about the things I listened to because I didn't manage to listen to so many releases from June, but some of those bands released albums the previous month and I think those new albums might be pretty good based on the previous releases. So, to sum up, I'll also talk about the bands I haven't listened to but seem to be pretty interesting. So let's begin, I guess. Firstly, I will go with band's album I wanted to make a review but just didn't manage to do it. And I mean British In Consensus Lux Lucis. Signed to one of my favorite labels, I avoid Hangar Records, so I guess I shouldn't be disappointed. And spoiler, I wasn't. It's a band that blends black and heavy metal in a very good way. Lots of catchy riffs, melodies and pace changes, so the elements that good heavy metal release should have. And unfortunately I didn't spend so much time with this release because of the newest Thanatos, but overall the album is great and I strongly recommend it. And we are not changing the label because guy from Le Chant du Hasard released a fourth album of his main project. I'm saying the main project because the previous year he decided to found another one where he plays avant-garde black metal. And Malivore is great, by the way. But normally he plays opera music with some blackened atmosphere, with some coarse and glorious tones. And he did as great as with 3 previous albums. Now let's move on to the split album of Meslamtea and The Color of Rain, the bands which belong to the same collective, so Zvoteking. But Meslamtea plays progressive black metal while The Color of Rain plays progressive death metal. Both sides of the album were great, but honestly I prefer more Meslamtea's side. I guess only because it's more blacky. And it's time for the first non-metal release. Because after a few years Uboa decided to release a new album. And I don't mean our false friend from such a Japanese game. Anyway, Impossible Light is great mix of harsh noise, ambient and some acoustic parts. And it gives us overall great atmosphere. And if we are talking about non-metal things still, then I have recently found a project called Uami on Spotify. At the time when she released a new album called Tuna 2.31. Pretty cool slow electronic with some cleans. And now it's time for one of my favorite albums of June which I still haven't taken a closer look at. And I mean Hungarian Cerblis and their new album called Heavenly Dawn. Beautiful, glorious, progressive, atmospheric black metal with lots of trumpets. Usually pretty calm but with lots of beautiful moments. Highly recommended. The next will be also an epic black metal release, I mean Fellwarden and their Legend. I haven't known this band before, but I saw Ashenspire recommending them on Instagram, so decided to listen them pretty fast. And it's pretty cool, I have to say. Lots of Funeral Doom influences here. If we are still talking about epic atmospheric black metal, then I have to probably say something about Cosmic Vision and his new album entitled In the Sign of Nature. Also a pretty interesting release with lots of acoustic elements. Now it's time for Italian Nel Buio and their self-titled EP. It's a black metal with some elements of synthwave, but here black metal is definitely more hearable than synthwave, in opposite to such abstract void where synths are definitely more powerful. But regardless of that, the EP was pretty cool. But I would like the guys to be more synthwave than black metal on their debut album. A few days ago I came across with a band called Apes, and the previous year they released an album called Penitence, which is great blend of black metal, death metal and grindcore, just like Unyielding Love. And unfortunately the last thing I listened to from June, Kalish Pure and their self-titled album. Avant-garde black metal signed to one of my favorite labels, so Fiat Productions. Maybe it's not as good as newest Lightvox, for example, in case of avant-garde black metal, but it's still worth listening. And I don't mean it's bad obviously, because it's nice. Okay, but I've just reminded myself that Peggy released a track 1 month ago, and if it's some kind of trailer of an upcoming album, then I'm really looking forward to hearing it whole, cause track was pretty enjoyable. And now it's time for those recommendations based on previous albums and the other things that may be interesting. Ross from the Avant Void told me about the band called Cress and their new album with that ship on the art cover, and if that album is as good as newest Praise the Plug, for example, then I don't have any questions. Some people were telling me also about French band called Hule, which plays some kind of atmospheric black metal with lots of melodies, and I think their new album might be pretty cool. And such a British atmospheric black metal band, Clash, also released an album in June. I liked Where the Ocean Meets the Sky very much, and I think the newest one might be pretty cool also. Such a Greek band, Winter Eternal, which plays melodic black metal, also released an album the previous month. Probably pretty similar to Dissection, Stormkeep, Demonian and every band of this kind. And if it's as good as, for example, newest In Here's the Void, then I don't have any questions as well. And it's time again for another Avant Void pick, so Arcas and their Arrival at Grief. As I heard it's post-metal stuff, I really like some post-metal and I think I might make friends with this release. I listened to it only for a while, but band called Noxys released an album called Violence Inherent in the System, and it's pretty dirty and brutal death metal, pretty similar to Slime Lord. And I guess it would be all for today. I'm encouraging you all to put some albums from June you enjoyed a lot. I will definitely listen to them sooner or later. It's widely possible that I missed something interesting, so that's why I was encouraging to do so before. And for now, thanks for watching this video, and remember to hit the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy what I do here. See you in next videos!